the Flick Chicks. I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica.
And this is the podcast where we roast every genre of movie. We don't discriminate.
No, we do not.
And today we're going to be talking about To All the Boys I've Loved Before. P.S. I Still Love You. Ooh, intimate.
So yeah, this is the second installment in the the To All the Boys I Loved Before series.
It is. It's a sequel. And the series is actually a trilogy based off the books by Jenny Han, which I have read.
I have not.
Yeah,
so we get the two different perspectives today.
2 perspectives. So we're just going to recap the movie. So people who, are lazy and don't watch these movies can actually just listen.
Or if you need a little refresher.
Yeah. So the movie starts off with Lara Jean dancing around her room, getting ready for her first date with Peter. I must say, the soundtrack is pretty dope.
I liked the soundtrack.
I liked it. They end up going to this restaurant called Cardona or something. I guess it's Italian.
Probably.
They get their pasta and butter and call it a day. I thought the fork thing was cute when he dropped the fork.
That was pretty cute.
I would be like, what the heck?
Like, the whole thing about Peter Kavinsky, his whole character, we're going to get into this later, but he just, the way, I'm not talking about the actor. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the character. The character is meant to be that kind of thing where you're kind of like, ooh, it's so cheesy that it's
cringy,
cute, but it's also
okay.
cringy, and it's oh my goodness.
He does anything to make anyone laugh, but it's fine. We'll forgive it. I think it's good juxtaposition to her shy, demure,
that's true.
kind of thing. But yeah. So Lara Jean's she's never been a girlfriend before, and she hopes she's good at it, which clearly means she won't. That's foreshadowing.
That is basic English class, grade 10.
Yes. And they go light lanterns and basically try to promise not to break each other's hearts. Also, another promise that is not going to work. Okay? Heavy foreshadowing. So after Korean New Year, which was dope, by the way, really liked the food shots.
I was literally, that's exactly what I have written down. And that's what I was gonna say when we started talking about what we liked. Literally, my first point that I wrote down was the food shot was cool.
Same. All the upward food shots that they did,
how it jumped between stages of being eaten.
I like it. It was beautiful. So Lara Jean receives a letter from John Ambrose, which was the 5th guy, and she's all nervous about it. She tries to write him, but ultimately doesn't end up writing back to him. But doesn't matter, because they end up volunteering at the same elder home, which I just want to comment on the elder home. It looks like the kind of prison that Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are trying to get to.
That was nice.
It was so nice. That's what I'm saying. Rich people prisons, that's what they're trying to look like.
I was going to say, because when I think of elder homes, I just think of, sadness.
Dirty little places. not a 3-star.
No, it looked like a country club.
They had different rooms themed differently.
They had lawn bowling.
I don't know where... Did they ever mention where these people actually live? Where Lara Jean lives? Because Lara Jean's house is bomb.
No, their houses, their whole neighborhoods are nice.
Her father is a doctor.
It's Oregon, too. So
oh, it is?
I feel how big houses can go for cheaper there.
I guess. Because I'm this old folks home.
Say, we're not talking about New York City.
I know. Maybe I'd be come on now. These grandma and grandpas are not affording this kind of stuff.
They're living lavish right now.
Yeah. So, So then, basically, Peter and Lara Jean don't end up volunteering for the same place, so he promises to meet her at some coffee shop, which he's really late for. Very late. That was messy.
I'm surprised she even stayed at the coffee shop. I would have left after 15 minutes.
But I loved, again, the upward shots. They use that a lot to, have, they show her, doing her homework and people asking her, is the seat taking? And she's get away from me. But I love the upward shots.
It's at one point she was trying to convince herself that he was coming.
Yeah.
Because she was getting so frustrated that, he's like, no, I promise, my boyfriend's coming. And it's
it's really a lot of, voice kind of, being, oh my gosh. Concentrating on the tone of voice instead of, literally facial expressions and stuff, which I really like. But then Peter comes late, but then he apologizes and takes her out to some fair place, which is cute.
That whole scene was really cute.
Yeah, it was very cute.
It made me really sad. I'm like, wow. Can't I do that? Why can't I do that?
Also, Valentine's Day was coming up, and I was like, not gonna be doing that.
See, Anne watched it before Valentine's Day. I watched it on Valentine's Day. So I was sitting there in my pajamas, I wish I could be doing that.
Yeah, speaking of Valentine's Day, it comes up in the movie. It's Valentine's Day, and the best part of the movie comes, which is Maddie Ziegler's cameo.
What? Are you serious?
She was the cheerleader.
No, I know, but is that your favorite part of the movie?
No.
I was like, I didn't think you were that type of person. Oh my god, Maddie Ziegler's in it. That's the best part.
It is.
I mean, it's cool for
Millie Bobby Brown.
What?
Probably they're best friends. You don't know that?
I didn't know that.
That's the best part of the movie for Millie.
Anyway,
sorry. Moving on. If you're not into teen celebrity drama, then who are you?
We are no longer teens, and we're still doing this.
Okay, so then, Peter doesn't get her a freaking acapella thing. Which, why did like Trevor get it for himself? I didn't get that joke.
What are those called? Musical gram? We used to call them something.
Music grams, whatever.
You know, when the people at school come and sing for you instead of like a candy gram or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know why Trevor, the hot Asian guy, just got it for himself.
No, Chris got it for him.
Is that what it was?
I don't know. They didn't really specify, but then later in the movie they ended up being together.
He was singing it like, I sent it to myself, and she rolled her eyes like...
I don't know. They never really specified.
Okay, that was weird.
They didn't specify why him and Chris got together.
No, they were like, I don't... Okay,
it was weird. Know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I can't. Like, that's the biggest plot hole in the movie.
Yeah, like, they just kind of like, oh yeah, they're together now.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay, so Peter doesn't get her the songogram, or whatever you want to call it.
I like that.
Songogram. He gets her a necklace. I really thought it was a locket the entire time, and I didn't
even see what it was. I think I blinked or something when the scene happened, and I was like, okay.
You dumb girl, open the freaking locket, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh, guess.
Did they say something about like what's inside or what's?
No, they didn't. Not even. It's just a necklace. It's just a thick necklace. Thick. That's it.
What was on it? I was gonna say. I think I blinked or something.
It was a heart with like carvings of like more hearts and whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways,
and then he read her
a poem, and then we later learn that Peter's a fraud. Okay. He's the king of plagiarism.
Okay. That poem that he read was actually an Edgar Allan Poe poem.
Yes.
Which, honestly, I can't blame him. Like, writing poetry is hard.
It is, but, like, don't come at me like it's yours. Like, don't front.
I'm surprised Lara Jean didn't know that. I feel like she's the type of person who would know that.
Well, honestly, she probably doesn't read poetry. She's reading, like, trashy little romance novels from Indigo, so it's not that serious.
From that one section in Indigo. Yeah. You know the one.
You know, where
that
the
one shelf where the ladies are, where it's like...
they're, like, good vacation reads.
Like the things that ladies read on the beach while they're on vacation.
I've also seen ladies read it on the bus, and that's quite an experience.
Oh, those things are very graphic.
Yeah, I'm like, I was looking over, and I was sitting in the bus, and I looked over, and I could just see, like, engorged, and I was like, oh, and okay.
Yep.
And, yep, so, it's, you know,
that's
whatever.
The type of person Lara Jean is.
Yeah, Lara Jean is one of those. She gives him one cherry turnover.
Is that what that
They literally made a sequence of her baking them.
Oh.
And then she gave him a single one.
What'd she do with all the other ones?
I was like, homegirl, this is your man. Feed him.
Then she later got mad that he didn't give her like a songogram.
I know, and I'm like,
you just gave him a cherry turnover.
You gave him one turnover.
And call
like, if you gave him a basket, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of time.
Which, cute,
again,
like,
you put a lot of effort, and then she made him that little arts and craft thing.
Oh, like it was like a card or something.
Yeah, a card, but it was like she rolled up like things, paper, mache,
it was like
whatever.
A 3D card.
Very arts and crafty. I don't know if that would fly today. I don't know.
What do you mean today? That movie was released like 2 days ago.
I know. I just feel like people would be like, really, like. You got your...
I mean, you have to remember they're in high school, too.
But you're 16. You're making your little boyfriend a arts and... I guess... Okay.
That happened in high school. Do you not remember?
I don't remember high school. I tried to block it out. So, it's, yeah.
I feel like in high school, I remember someone giving someone else, like, a little box. It was, like, a little crafty box with, like, pictures and stuff.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't want to say... We're not going to go name-dropping on this podcast, but... Anyways... I both think they sucked at Valentine's Day. That's my thing. I was like, you guys are kind of weak.
Which, I mean, you could argue was representative of their relationship at the time.
I think the point is they're not very good at what they're doing.
Exactly.
And, you know what? I'll commend them for that, okay?
Stick to the consistency.
Yeah, exactly. So, basically, they end up going to this party. I think it's, like, some house party. They end up at a house party. I mean, there's some scenes with John Ambrose and Lara at the freaking... old people house, but nothing seriously.
They just like put some chairs away, and he lends her the letter. The letter that she sent to him back in like grade 6, and then we learn more about their relationship when they were in grade 6.
Yes, they did.
I literally thought she's like, oh, John Ambrose, I went to Model UN with him. I thought it was like a field trip or something.
No.
But it turns out they were like besties in like grade 6. Was that?
that.
always what it was?
Even in the books, it was like that.
I don't remember. I thought it was just like, oh, this guy I went to Model UN with. I met him once.
No,
but they were like fully
I feel like
besties in grade
that was
6
low key showing that she didn't want to talk about it because she didn't want to admit how serious her feelings for that guy.
Dang. Well, yeah, they were like best friends in grade 6 or whatever until he moved away.
Her French toast costume, by the way, was dope.
That was funny. He was a deviled egg.
Yeah, that was funny.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. So they end up at the party, and Lara's talking about how she's kind of like uncomfortable, just like dating him, I guess, and like she thinks he's too popular for her, basically.
Pretty much. Like there's a scene where he's like playing water pong or beer pong.
Beer pong, yeah.
No, flip cup.
Flip cup.
And then she's standing on the side with like James as
no,
right?
Lucas.
Oh my god, Lucas.
Lucas is king, by the way.
She's standing next to Lucas, and they're like, oh my god, like I don't play flip cup. I'm so weird. I'm not like the other girls.
Yeah, other girls. And Lucas is like, shut up, you heteronormative girl. I have no gay people at my disposal.
He's like, you think your life is hard? There's 2 gay people in this school.
I know. I wear 13 size Nikes though, so
oh my god,
I beat you all. But no, I thought that was good though. I think I like Lucas a lot, like as a character.
Oh, I liked him as a character too, but it just sucked that he was kind of like the typical like friend, best friend. I think that's so like overused.
But I did like that she was like, you're gonna like get a bunch of guys because she's like, because I was first in line when I didn't know you were gay. Stuff. True, that was really sweet. Kind of like
that's true.
A thing. And then basically there's this makeout scene in the car where
things get hot and heavy.
Hot and heavy, and Laura Jean is like, I want to have sex with you ever. No,
I do not want to have sex right now.
No.
And it's like, and he's like, yeah, no, for sure. Like he handled it pretty well.
He
in
did.
my opinion, for a high school boy character.
Yeah, I know. I feel like some boys would be like, I wasn't even trying, and I was like, well, you're unbuttoning my shirt.
Like they'll do the thing where it's like, I wasn't even trying, but like, even if I was, you don't have to be such a prude about it.
I know, like,
you know what I mean?
Nah, he handled it very well.
Oh yeah, he's like, well, no, I'm not trying to rush you or anything.
I know.
Like, do you feel like you're being
I really
rushed?
liked when he was like, I would love to go base jumping with you if that's something you ever wanted to do, which is really nice. Which is the metaphor for like.
See, like everything he says is kind of just like, oh
yeah, he's sweet, he's cute. Anyways, John Ambrose and Lara Jean are talking again at something, and he says, quote, I can't wait to be at an age where I'm not expected to think flip cup is fun.
I hated that line.
You hated that line?
Like,
I was like, you can do that right
like,
now.
That is the equivalent of like, you see this hat? It's weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, these like stupid teenagers that play flip cup. Like nobody cares. Just play flip cup, bro. We all know that you just can't win. Like, you know what I mean? I hate when people do that.
I understand him, but I'm like, you don't, like, you can tell people you don't want to play.
All you have to do is just be like, I don't like flip cup. You don't have to be like, oh, this generation.
I literally,
I know. Teenagers these days. Like,
I know you're,
shut up.
I know you're hanging around 80-year-olds, but it doesn't mean you gotta be
That's
one.
That's what I'm saying. It was like the equivalent of like, I'm not like the other girls.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm not like these kids.
Like, okay, we get it. You like to read and talk to old people. Like, oh my god, just let people have fun. Like, you know.
Yeah. So, they basically decide to dig up some time capsule that they dug up, that they made years ago. And they decide to, invite everyone. And I will say, this is my favorite part of the movie, which is the treehouse scene with
Why do I feel like
the tension.
Just now I'm like forgetting everything that happened.
So basically, they invite everyone.
I remember the scene, but I feel like I don't remember the details.
Jen shows up.
Yeah.
And she's like, guess you forgot my invitation. Yeah, on purpose. We don't like you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then they go into the treehouse, and then Peter's all like jealous because he's like, yo, like, how come you be homegirl? How are you gonna plan this event with someone and that's not me, your man? And then she's like,
oh, because it was originally planned between just Lara Jean and
John Ambrose. And then she said, like, let's invite everyone. And they come, and then the tension is palpable, man.
Oh, yeah, because she didn't tell
John
that they were dating.
It was the best.
Why would you not do that?
I loved how they were dancing around it. Like, he's like, I can stay. And he's like, no, I could stay. And he's like, bruh, like, it's fine. And he's like, I think it's okay if I help my girlfriend. And it was like, ooh. I loved it. And also, Jen freaking, like, talks about how their kiss at some point. Like, she's like, oh, yeah, I remember, like, you hit that baseball and then you came and kissed me in front of your mom. And she's like, do you remember that? And then he's like, I don't remember. Yeah. And then Lara's like, what's it called? Alana Condor, who plays Lara Jean's facial expressions are life. Like, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah. So they have a fight, and I think it was good to show how couples fight.
Yeah.
But I thought it was weak that they said, let's never fight again.
I was literally about to say, like, I think it's just, it's such a high, it was very typical of high school, though, where it's like, oh my god, we're never going to fight again. This is our last fight. But it's like, you need to understand that it's better to fight
than to not.
When you end, and then you're like, ah, and you, like, explode after. Exactly. That's when it's a problem.
Communication is key, baby.
Exactly.
So then they have Fakesgiving dinner, and Lara Jean's dad.
Oh my god!
My favorite thing,
the next door lady, her and the next door lady are having a little budding romance of their own.
I love it. It's so
I was
sweet.
literally about to say their relationship. I feel like is my favorite thing in the whole movie. Like I don't know why, I just loved it so much.
I love how she was so like, oh, like tell the story about like Evie, the mom.
Yeah, like she let him tell the whole story about his wife,
and he was like, "Thank you for sharing that with me."
She is just a wholesome woman, and her dog. Her dog was so cute. This big fluffy white dog.
It's adorable. And she's so cute. I like her, and I like how like Lara Jean and her interacted, like being like, oh, by the way, that Valentine's that Kitty sent was not from my dad, and she's like, really? Yeah. The pink one with all the glitter was not from your dad? Like that was cute.
That was cute.
Really. And they have dinner. It's cute. Thanksgiving dinner, and they talk about Lara. Yeah, Peter's there. They talk about Lara Jean's mom, and I think that's sweet. I think it was a sweet scene.
It was very cute.
I think it's the equivalent of the scene where Peter and Lara Jean were in the kitchen talking about their parents. I know exactly
what you're talking about. Yeah, that one was my favorite scene in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's like a heartfelt scene. I'm not saying it's the same point of it, but it's good. So then, Lara Jean's like, you know what? Oh, by the way, in the fight that they had, they were fighting about how they weren't really showing each other affection properly, I guess. So like Lara Jean was
like,
all like,
the issues were brought up about how she doesn't really know how to be a girlfriend,
and she's like, and like, how come you didn't do the stuff that you used to do with Jen with me, kind of thing? And he's like, you're not like Jen, so that's why I didn't do the stuff. That's a very point.
That's a fair point. And I liked when she brought up like, oh, you didn't even get me like a song, a gram, whatever thing, and he's like, I didn't think that was your style, and she's like, well, it's not my style.
It shows it's just an insecurity. It's just jealousy.
It's not even. Yeah, it's not even that she wanted one. She just thought, oh, everyone else is getting one. But then, like, he just showed that he probably knows you better than you think.
Which low-key, I totally see myself like that. I could see like me being with the guy and then finding out he did some grand gesture thing, like public grand gesture thing to his ex, and then me being like, oh, I didn't get that, and he'd be like, you hate public like displays of like big things, and I'd be like, yeah, but still. And then he does it, and I'm like, ew, don't ever do it. I'm trash. That's literally what we're.
Yeah, we are all Lara Jean, is what we're just.
Yes.
I mean, even if we're not all like her, I feel like we could all relate. Like, she's written in a way where it's like everyone can relate in some way. Yeah, exactly.
Like I feel like that's what a lot of other teen movies miss out on, is they don't actually give characters like proper traits and
proper like relatability.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. So Peter also was like, I think it'd be nice if you dressed up like for my games, because apparently
so
girlfriends do that.
Yeah, that was a weird part.
I was like,
because she's like, oh, well, everyone always dresses up for, like, the girlfriends always dress up for their boyfriend's lacrosse game, and I don't. And he's like, well, I mean, you can if you want to.
It'll show that you care.
Or something like that. It'll show that you really care.
Shut up.
Like, does she really have to?
Really? And I thought the tradition was that they give them their jersey or some.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. They dress up. Like, what does she mean by dress up? Like, they wear full, like, dress heels.
Fully, you can tell that I never attended any of the sports events at my school, but that's beside the point.
Let's be real. This is American schools are different.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It might be a different thing there. So maybe we're just not up to the American standards here.
That's true.
Anyway, so she gets dressed up and during "Kill This Love" by Blackpink, and
I thought that was so funny that pulled up. I was so shocked that pulled up. Where I was like,
I know
what?
I was like, hey, and it was appropriate because I would.
It fit with the scene.
Because I feel like I would be.
I'm just not the biggest fan of them, so I was just confused when it came up, and I was like, what?
I am a fan, but also she is half Korean, so I feel like it makes sense to put some Korean artists in
I was like surprised, but also like, okay, it makes sense. Like that I feel like they had to put at least one K-pop song in there.
So she gets ready to, show off her girlfriend skills when Chris comes through with the receipts. Chris is ready to make a return, and she got receipts. She took a picture of Peter and Jen together. She was like, they were together. She learned from all the movies where the girlfriends blame the girl instead of the boyfriend. Yeah. Like, she's like, I'm not going to have any ambiguity. Here's the pictures, here's the facts, here's the receipts, here's the tea, okay? Wow. Do with it what you will. Exactly. So basically, Peter and Jen were spotted, like, hugging, I guess. And they were talking together. And Lara Jean confronts him on it. And She finds out that he knew that Jen filmed the video of them.
Oh, that was the culmination. No, it was more like, so basically, she found out that when Peter in the first movie was waiting at the hot tub, he was actually waiting for Jen.
That's actually wild.
That was crazy. I was like, whoa, like he was waiting for Jen and not her. So if she hadn't showed up, then him and Jen would probably been together, and that's why Jen filmed the videos because she was literally
pissed.
there. Like she was literally there about to go.
And then she was like, "Oh, you're gonna ditch me for homegirl number 2? How dare you?"
That's
fake
crazy.
homegirl.
So she's like, okay, we are over.
And it makes sense why in the first movie she was like, I didn't film it, but I would tell you like if I was, it's dumb that you were like making out in a public place, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like,
well, no, I thought that was really shocking. I didn't realize that he was waiting.
No,
for Jen.
I knew it because I've read the book, but
I didn't know that.
I was to this day it still shakes me because I'm like, oh, like destiny or not.
So Lara Jean does not take that well. She's like, it's over. Doesn't. We're broken up.
She breaks up with him, and there's like a whole sequence of them like just I guess dealing with the breakup.
But like, do you really think that alone is like a reason to break up?
I think I would have done the same thing. Because
he didn't tell her, which is kind of like rude because it's like one of their most special moments, which wasn't technically supposed to be for you.
Yeah. And in high school, people break up and get back together all the time.
Because I don't really consider it like that's obviously not cheating or anything like that.
No.
They weren't officially together at that point. Yeah, I guess he should have probably told her. I guess with a mix of everything else, with already her insecurities there, I guess it makes sense.
No, I think it was a build-up.
I was gonna say if it's just that, I don't know if I would break up over it, but I'd be like.
It would mess with me really bad.
I would be really insecure.
It would mess, yeah.
It would either be a culmination of a build-up, or it would cause a build-up to start. Yeah. You know?
The biggest thing to me, I would say, is he didn't tell me the video thing. I think that was really snake.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, like, oh, she filmed it, and he's like, you don't know that. So I think he didn't know at that time, but then he finds out, right?
Yeah.
And then he doesn't tell her. Like, I feel like, to play devil's advocate, Lara Jean told him about John Ambrose.
I was gonna say when she told him about that, he's like, "Oh, why are you telling me that?" She's like, "Well, I felt like I needed to, and he didn't tell her that. That's something you kind of need to disclose."
I feel like it's just important to have communication. Like they should just speak.
Anyways, continuing on.
Yes. So then she realizes that the real problem is her insecurity with Jen. So she texts her to come to the treehouse. By the way, that reveal was wild. I really didn't think she was going to be the one.
It showed her texting someone, come to the tree, and you don't know who she's texting. She's texting Peter, she's texting John Ambrose. Who knows? But it's Jen.
Even when I saw the top of her head, I still didn't think it was Jen. I was like, who's this person? Until they fully showed her, you know? I thought that was really good suspense. Good for them. And then, I love this part. My second favorite part, probably, is Jung, which is the word that Lara Jean's grandma taught her, which is the connection between two people that can't be severed. And she has Jung with Jen because they used to be best friends when they were younger.
But Jen also has Jung with Peter.
And she said, like...
They did for a while.
Yeah, and she's like, I guess I have to kind of forgive that they have Jung, because it's not...
And she also reveals that her parents are also getting divorced.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why she's confiding in Peter lately, because
his
been
parents
through
have been divorced. Yeah.
So... I mean, I guess Lara Jean kind of looks a little stupid.
She does. And also, it's like, the fact that you guys were all friends at one point, you can see that clearly Jen and Peter's connection is not only, like, a dating thing. It's like, they were friends at one point.
That's
true. It's like, it's kind of hard to just let that go completely.
Yeah. Especially that's also, I feel like, something you should let them know. Like, if Jen is coming to Peter with these personal problems, and talking really like quietly, whatever. Like he should let Lara Jean know to be like, by the way, like just so you know, Jen has been coming up to me because like
she's going through something at home.
Helping her with that.
Yeah,
I mean, so I feel like it's a big miscommunication.
Which he did say, but he didn't say it to her at the right time.
Exactly.
He told her after.
Yeah, which is not. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
After he got caught. So, anyways,
like it has to look sus. If you're not saying anything, it's gonna look suspicious.
It does. It just does. So they're still broken up. Lara Jean goes to the Star Ball or whatever it's called
with the retirement home,
and eventually she ends up dancing with John Ambrose, who's still trying to get it.
John Ambrose's character, see, at the beginning I saw so much potential for him, like, oh, he's gonna be cute, and then he just got so annoying. He just kept being there.
I was like,
Lara Jean, I'm just like you. I don't like flip cup.
I know.
All these people don't know anything about us.
I really liked when he played piano. Didn't like when he was talking, but
he just got annoying at the end. Where he did. Okay, like, just
so then he was, especially when he knows that she's with Peter and he's still trying to be thirsty.
It was just weird.
Like he was like, oh, like
weird
I tried to put sticks in front of your house and your dad gave me $10 or something. What? Which is Lara Jean's dad is the best. impressed.
That's also true.
They slow dance. They end up outside because it's snowing. Stupid. As a girl who lives in Canada, you would not do that.
I literally said the same thing when they were like doing snow angels with no jacket on. I was like, no one would really do that.
Are you trying to get frostbite?
Yeah, I'm like, no one would do that if there's actual
painful.
snow.
Lies. Anyways, so they end up kissing, and Lara Jean is like, wait a minute, something ain't right here.
And he's like, it's Peter, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm sorry.
Yep. And then she talks to Stormy, which I haven't mentioned at all throughout this recap.
Stormy, she was okay.
She was alright.
Old people characters are always like, meh.
She was better in the book.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But she was just in this one, and she's like, "Go get your man," and she's like, "I," and then she runs out to get him, and then he's there.
And he's literally right outside.
Yeah, he's literally right outside.
Crazy to me. I was like,
I know. And then he was like, "Hey, I remember that you said you don't like driving in the snow, and I thought I'd come and pick you up."
That was really cute.
It was really cute. I feel like they even underplay that in the movie, because in the book, they show that even after the breakup, he would still pick up Kitty from her house to bring her to school, because he's like, even though we broke up, like, I still owe Kitty, like, that.
Yeah.
So it was cute, and then finally when he comes to pick her up, he's like, yeah, I guess, like, I could pick you up, because, like, I don't know.
I guess I'll pick you up.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, you know, we're still, like, I still respect you in that way, I guess.
Yeah, and like, he did promise.
I still want to do that for you, kind of thing.
But that was so cute how he was, like, right outside.
I feel like I needed a little more lines there at the end.
That's true. But then there's kind of like that unspoken thing where it's like, we both know we like each other.
I know, but I didn't like the whole break my heart into a million pieces covey. I feel like he could have said, like, I don't care that, like, this is, that we may risk it all or whatever. We should just get it. She should have said something, though. That's what I wanted.
I guess.
Because she just said she loved him. I feel like she could have just said, like, something like, you know, I don't know, something to reassure.
I don't really remember the exact scene.
Yeah.
I just remember there was snow, and he said, I want to pick you up because you don't like driving in the snow, and then they kissed, and then that's pretty much the end, right?
Yeah, that is the ending.
Interesting.
That is the ending.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I love you don't like driving in the snow.
I thought that was really cute.
He's very acts of service, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Love language.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I guess now we're going to get into what, like, we told this whole thing, but did we like the movie?
Yeah.
That's really the question.
Things we liked, things we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, it was good.
It was alright.
It was good. I watched both of them back to back yesterday because I forgot. Or no, I was watching it with my mom, and she hadn't watched the first one.
Oh, so
I watched the first one, and then I watched the second one, and it definitely felt to me like it was like almost the same movie.
Oh,
like everything like continued into each other. So what, like in terms of like style, like dialogue, like you wouldn't think that there was like 2 years apart.
It essentially is.
You wouldn't think there was 2 years apart. Like it literally seemed like they'd had like the movie being continued, which I feel like is kind of rare for sequels.
It is.
There's always like because sometimes they have different directors,
they do,
or whatever, but they feel like they kept the same.
Which is,
style.
you know, they already filmed the third movie already.
That's crazy.
So it's gonna be very cohesive, basically, which is smart. I think it's smart, especially that it's based off a trilogy. Like it's like a book just continuing. You know?
I feel like it's the only one where it's like it kind of makes sense. Like although the sequel didn't really add much, because I thought the whole sequel was gonna be just based on John Ambrose. Like, I thought he was gonna have more of a big role.
Yeah.
But I guess it does show like how they have the happily ever after, but it's like what happens after, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they really showed their relationship a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's like probably that's one of the things I had written down where it's like it just felt like a continuation of the same movie, which I did appreciate.
Yeah, no, I think it was good. Things I liked, I would say, is obviously I said the treehouse is probably my favorite scene. I liked the tension and the whole like dancing around Peter and Lara Jean being together. The soundtrack I thought was amazing. I actually really liked it.
I liked the soundtrack.
I was really upward camera shots of the food, like so artistically.
That was like it was just they just sprinkled that in there.
They really
wow,
did.
That was good.
And
I was
honestly,
gonna say I like the color scheme, which kind of mixes in with it. Where in the scenes where it's a bit sadder, it's really simple. Where it's like the scenes that are sadder have like more muted colors.
Yeah.
And then the happier scenes are very colorful. Like it's not a coincidence that her room is like bright blue.
No, it's not.
Where it's like you can easily make it super vibrant or you can make it dull.
Exactly. No, I love it. I think it's great.
The use of color in general is really interesting.
Yeah.
In both the movies.
It's great. I think it was great. I'll talk about the things I didn't like. A little negativity here. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the third act was kind of weak. I think the momentum kind of got lost. It was a little like I wasn't as interested as much.
Yeah.
I guess it's like because you go from the breakup right to the dance, and it's a little bit not directly. Sorry, you go from the Jung part to the dance with the old people, And I guess I was so invested in Peter and, like, the whole Jen and all that stuff that to go straight from that to, like, John Ambrose, like, I kind of didn't care as much.
In general, the one thing I would say I just didn't really like is John Ambrose.
No,
his character just felt like he was
just
there to be there, to just have a little extra, like, I know, love triangle.
His only purpose was liking Lara Jean. Like, he didn't have any...
Like, I feel like he had no personality.
No,
his personality was, I'm not like the other guys.
His personality is liking Lara Jean.
And I like Lara Jean. Like, I just...
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Jordan Fisher.
I love Jordan Fisher, but I didn't think he delivered this well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just, like, he brought, like, a weird, annoying...
Yes.
He felt like he was supposed to be the bad guy.
He is. You know what? He reminded me of Joe from You. Like, even the way he was talking was very, like, he wrote this down and he was calculated. He sounded like he was always saying a speech instead of just talking to her.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like,
his character was weird.
Like, he was always like, you know, when I was little, I used to, like, do this stuff. It's just it's so gross, right? It really gross.
It seemed like his character was very one-dimensional.
I didn't like
his only purpose was just because it's like, if he moved away, why is he back?
I know.
Like, I'm really confused.
Really, honestly, like, in elementary school, someone moving to a different school, even if it's in the same city, is a big deal. Like, it's like, I'm not gonna see you again. So I feel like that's what they were,
I guess,
talking about.
But also, I was gonna bring this up as, like, what do you think of, like, him being recasted? Because you know how in the first movie it was supposed to be a different guy.
So did no one explain, like I just assumed that it was because the guy was not available or something happened.
I don't know. Apparently they didn't tell the original actor that he got recasted. That's what I saw on Twitter.
Oh, shoot.
But, like, I don't know.
I didn't love that. I didn't think it was necessary because
I don't know why they didn't.
If the other guy is a good actor, you know, it's fine. I think they should have thought about that a little bit more.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if they didn't actually like the guy. Also, in the book, to be fair, he does have blonde hair, blue eyes, right? And they casted the guy who seems pretty similar. I didn't look at the guy's eyes, but he was blonde in the first guy.
No, he was brunette in the first one.
What?
He had brown hair.
His hair was like dirty blonde, wasn't it?
It was like brown.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, whatever. They tried to cast someone who kind of looks like him, I guess. I thought it was weird to recast someone. Like, if you're gonna recast someone who looks nothing like the character, I excuse it because it's like circumstances or things you can't go, like, out of control. Like, for example, Iron Man, just an example, they recasted, forgot his freaking name. Whatever. The best friend guy, they recasted him from one guy to Don Cheadle. And they look nothing alike. Mm-hmm. But it made sense because the actor just didn't, like, they had problems with the actor.
Well, sometimes it happens where it's like a character that's supposed to be a minor role suddenly becomes a major role. And you need a more seasoned actor.
Exactly.
Because probably they didn't know that the next movie was going to be made, so they couldn't get obviously a big actor to do a 1 second post-credit scene, but they also couldn't keep the small
I'm just
actor.
saying, like, I feel
they could have, but
I feel like the race bending, if you will, is a little bit much if the reasons aren't because of extenuating circumstances. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah. I mean, you could speak on this better than me.
True. But, like, I feel like it was okay. It was just weird. Or just thought it was weird.
I mean, like, Jordan Fisher's a good actor.
I just feel like this wasn't his movie. I just feel like he could have performed better in something else. And the man can belt.
I thought when I was gonna say when he was playing piano, I'm like, please don't sing. Please don't sing. Please don't sing.
I'd be like, that was so cheesy, but also you have the voice.
Like, he has a good voice, but it's like, you know when you, like, have a movie and, like, the actor happens to be a singer. Yeah. So they just make them sing.
I hate that. I hate that. Even I love Ed Sheeran, but when he showed up in Game of Thrones, I was like, this is not for you, my guy. You didn't need to sing.
He was in Game of Thrones? Oh, Ed Sheeran. Wait, sorry. I thought you were talking about Jordan Fisher.
That would be wild.
I blanked out for a second.
Ew, no.
So what I was gonna say was, like, another thing I didn't really like about it, I felt like the first movie was a little more progressive in terms of, like, high school movie tropes.
Okay.
Like, you know how, the first movie really felt like they're breaking those high school movie stereotypes and really showing high school students what they might actually be like. I'm saying might, like, I never was a high school student. What they pretty much are.
How they are.
But I felt like this one kind of relied a lot on, like, stereotypes. Like, it kind of... I don't want to say the writing. Would you say? I don't want to say the writing got a bit lazy, but I feel like it was like the whole thing where Jen would come up to her and be like, "Oh, you need to fit into those pants."
Oh, true.
Okay, was that necessary?
Like real mean girl type
and just
of
like
things.
where it's like, oh, there needs to be a mean girl. There needs to be like a, I don't know. It was just like I felt like the writing was a little off.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
with the lines, I guess the lines.
Yeah, I feel like in general, it just like it fell more into those stereotypes that I liked that it didn't do in the first movie, and now it's kind of like, oh, now they're going back to that again, where it's like I feel like the writing just wasn't up to the first movie's standard.
my problem was, I feel like they really needed a flashback scene of Lara Jean and Jen to show like how their friendship was.
Yeah, they kept saying they were friends, but the only scene we have is the spin the bottle scene where they were like mad at each other.
Because in the first movie, I get it. It wasn't necessary. Like I could take you for your word, but if you're gonna make this whole like they have
John, it would have made it more emotional. That whole scene more emotional if there was a flashback.
It's before. Like. It would have, I don't know, even a scene of like them sitting in the treehouse back when they were little. Like,
I was gonna say in my head, I imagine like, okay, so you see the scene where she sends the text, and you see Jen pop up, and all of a sudden you're back to when they're kids, sitting in that same thing, putting the friendship bracelets into the thing, saying, "Oh my God, we're gonna be friends forever, whatever," and obviously it's back to the present day. Like,
and that would have been so good because you know how they do these. Yeah, I know. You know how they do those abrupt things, like you know when Lara Jean was singing, and then like she was singing during the breakup, and then the bell like interrupted the scene. Yeah, I feel like that would have been really good with the flashback too. Like it would have been like. It could have been like a flashback of them together as kids, and then Jen is like, what did you want? Like something like that to abrupt it, and then
Lara Jean.
Yeah, exactly.
No, exactly. Like just I'm saying, it would have added a little emotion, like make me more emotionally invested into their.
And they did that in the first movie when she was like, you know, she was fantasizing about Josh. And then she got hit by a pillow, and it was like a juxtaposition of realism and like you know So I feel like
that's what I'm saying. I feel like in general the writing was just a little off for me. Like I feel
the small touches.
They missed a little bit of like what made the first movie so authentic.
I thought last thing I felt like there wasn't as strong of a, and I feel like that's what happens in sequels a lot of the times. I don't fault them necessarily, but I feel like a lot of sequels miss a clear theme or lesson. Like
I was literally gonna say that next.
In the first movie, I felt the lesson was like for her, it's like you have to get out of your shell and like not let people step over you, not let people like things pass you by. Like have a little courage, you know. And I thought that was a good thing because I think in high school, especially with girls, it's really hard to have courage in the first place because you're really insecure.
Like it's very common to just have everything be a fantasy in your mind. Like you don't want to actually do anything. Like, about your real life.
And like honestly, like. I was Lara Jean when I was younger, like just reading things instead of actually acting upon them. So I thought that was good. In this movie, like, it did teach you how to be a girlfriend.
I guess you could say it's like don't be so insecure or whatever when you're in a relationship. But I feel like it wasn't as strong.
No, it wasn't.
First one.
I feel like it should have. I feel like even the small flashback scene would have helped with this whole like you can't help the connections you have with people or something like that. Something like that. You can't erase your past kind of thing.
If they had focused on that and kept that. Yeah. But it was kind of all over the place. And I was going to say kind of similar to that is with sequels, it's hard to keep people engaged with the same characters. And I think they tried to bring John Ambrose in to like spice it up. But at the same time, it was like, I felt like as much as like you still saw the characters we saw the first time and we liked them, nothing really changed. Like it was kind of very static with how the characters like were shown. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of just like, okay, I'm seeing the same thing. Like I feel like if you're gonna give me a sequel with the same characters, make it a little more like let me learn some new things about them I didn't know before. Yeah, or no, I agree. Something like that. You know, it's hard to keep people engaged with the same characters kind of again unless you add something. Yeah.
New. Okay, we're gonna give this movie a grade. But before we do that, I have a fun question for you, Monica.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to answer it too. So, if you were Lara Jean, how many letters would you have to send?
Oh my God. I'd have to think about this. Oh, I actually think I might have an answer for this, but I need a second to think about it. Like, so it's like, since your first crush, like, and you're like unrequited crush. It has to be like an unrequited. Yes. Because obviously, if the person knew that doesn't count. No, it's like be someone who like would be totally shocked.
Wow. Like people, that would be like basically just like anyone like from elementary school to high school. I'm also trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, wait.
I'm gonna tell you my answer right now.
Okay, what is it?
How much? Actually, let's try to guess each other's numbers. Eh?
I haven't even thought of mine yet.
Okay,
I know count. I have one for sure.
Go ahead, you can count.
Elementary school all the way to high school?
Yeah. You know what?
Like in the same fashion of Lara Jean, where it's like she says that the letters are for people who she has a crush so intense that she doesn't even know what to do. Yeah. Like that. Guess mine.
Guess yours, and you're gonna guess mine, and then we'll reveal. Okay. So if I were you, I don't think you've had that many crushes. I don't think you're as boy crazy as me, which is a hint, by the way. That's bad. I'm gonna say, let's go with 5, like Lara Jean. 5. Nope. Okay.
Say 2.
2? Yeah.
Wow, Monica. In the fashion of Lara Jean, where it's like
you're reserved.
Cause like I've had lots of crushes, but not to the point where I would like send a letter, do it like that. Seems like a very serious crush, you know what I mean? Like, I can personally only think of two.
Well,
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try to guess yours. I want to say like maybe like 4, or maybe more. I feel like you're either like 4 or you're like 17.
What's your final answer?
4.
It's actually 6.
Ah, dang it.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
Also not good.
But 6, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. There's like second to 7th grade, basically. There's one. Then
wait, what?
I like someone from 2nd to like 7th grade. Yeah. And then there's one.
Interesting.
There's one in like 7th, 8th grade.
You had your first crush in grade 2? Maybe that's why.
No, my first crush was in kindergarten. But like I didn't really
know what crushes meant until I want to say grade 6. I remember my first crush in grade 6. But see, you have to think about the fact that a few of my crushes knew that I liked them. I mean, one of them knew at the end, but like I still would have like written them a letter, you know? But I feel like when the whole point of letter writing is when you can't tell them. You know what I mean? It's like you feel like you can't tell them, so she writes the letter. That's the whole point.
I know, but I feel like there was a circumstance to why they found out it wasn't natural.
I guess that.
So I wouldn't have told them.
That makes sense. No, mine it was like it's because I told them.
Okay, maybe you're just more brave than me. I would.
No, this was I'm talking like grade 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
After grade 6, it was a no-go.
No, in high school there was a lot. It was a bumpy ride. That's where most of the rest came
out. I think there's definitely 2 that I never told.
Yeah.
That I would write a letter.
Yeah. No, it was probably 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Is it good?
You write those letters.
I'm literally still Largine. I haven't found a Peter Kavinsky, so I'm just saying.
I don't think it just matters the number. I think it just matters that
if you find
even if you have one that's
successful.
That's a big deal.
I know that's what Kitty said. She was like, I thought the odds of 5 were better than 1. Because she was like, why'd you send them all?
That's very true.
Okay, so now we're going to give our final grade to the movie. So, imaginary drum roll. Okay, my grade, I'm going to give this movie, and I'll explain, a B-.
Oh, interesting.
Because I thought it was good. I was entertained. But I feel like it missed its charm from the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of things. I still think it was very artistic. I thought the lesson was very good. I just feel like it needed to amp up the emotion on some scenes. Like the part where she finds out that he was waiting for for Jen in the hot tub. I feel like they could have showed her like I don't even know, like her thoughts in her mind, like being like, oh my gosh, like a voiceover, or her like, you know, her face like being like, what the heck, because that's a huge reveal. Or like I don't know, something to show like anger in that way. And same with like we talked about Jong with Jen, like they could have showed a flashback of them being friends. I feel like they could have amped up the emotions on a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I was not a fan of John Ambrose. So
I'm not sorry. John Ambrose character.
No, it was weak. It was weak. So that's why I gave it a B-.
Interesting.
And by the way, I should probably say I would give To All the Boys.
The first one.
The first one, I would give it an A- as a movie.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Okay.
I'd say To All the Boys was A- just because it's like it's a fresh new characters or whatever. But I think I'd give the second one a B. I don't know if I would give it a minus. It was still an enjoyable movie.
Yes.
Like I think if I didn't watch the first one and I just watched it, I would probably enjoy it. Like it's a good romance movie. It's cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it kind of like missed the mark for me. I wouldn't call it I definitely wouldn't call it a great movie. It was good. Like it was not bad. Obviously, we're just nitpicky, but like I definitely think a B.
Yeah.
A B is good for me.
Yeah.
But John Ambrose, leave.
Yeah, no.
Nobody likes you.
Okay, so if you like this podcast, like the video or whatever, wherever we put this.
Wherever this ends up.
I know.
You like, subscribe, comment.
Comment to whatever.
On Instagram.
Yes.
We don't know what the @ is yet, but we'll tell you soon.
It'll probably Flick Chicks, but
it'll probably be at the Flick Chicks.
Yes, that would be
most
good.
likely.
Yeah. Okay, so our next podcast,
what is it
about? We're actually going to talk about the evolution of teen movies, like teen rom-coms, little teen flick chicks.
Because they have definitely changed over the years, and that kind of flows into this week's episode.
Exactly.
You know, this is definitely the epitome, I'd say, of a modern teen rom-com.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not always been like that.
No, it hasn't. So we're going to discuss the different types of teen rom-coms.
And I know what you're thinking. Ew, teen rom-com.
Shut up.
Just stay tuned.
Just do it.
We have some good insight.
Come on. And stop lying to yourself. You've watched them.
Everyone's watched them.
Come on.
Everyone likes them.
Stop it.
You know, when I said that right now, you're thinking of your favorite one in your head right
Shut
now.
up.
And it's probably 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah. Don't even lie. Are you gonna do Heath Ledger like that? That's not nice.
Yeah.
That's
respect
mean.
his memory.
I know. You're so good at that. Oh, man.
Anyways, so we'll catch you next time.
Yep.
We're the Flick Chicks. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
And see you later.
See ya.